Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF44. So, this is what we have going on right now. The Clippers have not handled the business at all. They've gotten themselves a 3-1 lead in the Denver Nuggets series and gave it back. And we have a Game 7. Meanwhile, my Laker team is sitting back, relaxing with their feet up, waiting to find out who's going to win this series. And to be honest with you, if you would ask me at the beginning of the series, I'd have said the Lakers are going to win it. The Clippers are going to win, excuse me. Right now, with Game 7 ahead, I don't know what to expect. I honestly don't know what to expect. My gut is still telling me the Clippers are going to win the series. They're going to win the night's game. But I haven't seen any evidence showing me that they're capable of holding on to a lead. They've blown a 17-point lead. They've blown a 16-point lead. They blew a 12-point lead. There's been so many blown leads in this series. As I believe I predicted. I think I actually predicted that there would be blown leads in this series. I might be wrong about that, but the reality is the Nuggets pose a lot of problems for the Clippers because the Clippers do nice bigs in Zubats and Montrez, but the problem is they're not the type of threat that Jokic is offensively. He is the type of guy where if you double him, good things happen because he's obviously an amazing passer. If you leave him at the 3-point line wide open, he has an amazing stroke. He gets in the paint, he has a big body, good footwork, fantastic footwork actually. He can score. So it's like he really doesn't have many flaws at all offensively. Sometimes he gets a little hesitant in terms of wanting to be aggressive, but in situations such as these, in these playoffs, in this series particularly, he's been an MVP caliber player. I like Jerami Grant a lot in this series. It's not that he's been an amazing scorer or anything of that nature, but when you look at what the Clippers have, Kawhi, PG, he is the exact size defender and the type of defender that you want. Someone very, very, very athletic, very fast for his size, can move laterally very well, long arms, defensive minded. He's been exactly what you need when trying to defend the Clippers. And I don't think a whole lot of conversation has been had about him in regards to this series because it's been so many other guys that have been playing extremely well. But I don't think that the Denver Nuggets find themselves in a Game 7 without him being on those two players and putting size on them, putting a body on them, making them work for everything that they get. I just think that he's been an unsung hero in this series. And another guy that I really like a lot in this series has been Gary Harris. The defense that he's been putting on, his stroke is starting to fall. He's been a guy that's been out for a while with injuries, but he's come back at the right time, and they have needed him to. And he's been giving the Clippers fits, and he's been doing it down the stretch on the defensive side of the ball. So you just can't appreciate what he's doing enough. They got guys like Torrey Craig who've played big as well, big body guys. Millsap has played well. You got to give credit to the Denver bench. They've just overall outplayed the Clipper bench, to be completely honest with you, and that's something that no one expected to see. Monte Morris has been really good as well. He poses a threat offensively now as well as defensively as he develops. So he's getting better with every game. It's just one of those things where it's like you just don't know what to expect from a team like Denver because their players are so young. And they have faced a lot of adversity in these playoffs. They're getting experience right before our very eyes. And I tell you, they're more equipped for this situation than the Clippers are. They've been in it the whole time. They've been playing with house money. They've been playing with dead legs. Like, there's nothing that you can throw at the Denver Nuggets that they haven't already seen. They've been down in closeout games, came back both times, twice, two different series rather. It's just like, I have no reason to believe at all that the Clippers are going to come into this situation and win, other than the fact that it's just supposed to happen because we're going to see the Lakers-Clippers series. But Denver has been the better team in this series since game 3, basically. And it is what it is. You got to understand, when you're dealing with passing big men and offensive talented guards coupled with wing defenders that happen to have size, you really don't have a lot to throw at them if you're the Clippers, because those are your strengths. Your wing players, offensive, your two-way wings are your strengths. Your size is not, even though you have Zubats and Trez, those are not your strengths. That's what Jokic is. He's a big guy that can't basically be guarded conventionally. And, they throw a lot at you. And then when you think you're doing well, you want to rest your starters, you want to chill out. Suddenly here comes Jamal Murray acting up. Suddenly here comes the other kid, the new kid on the block. I can't think of his name right now. Of course, you know me, I always forget people's names. But he's rolling. He's starting to get it together. What do you do? Michael Porter, what do you do? What do you do in this situation when you got a young team blitzing you? And every time you get a lead, you think it's cool. Here come them expressing their Iverson-like heart, because that's what they remind me of, a bunch of Iversons in terms of just being relentless and keeping coming at you. I mean, they just keep coming, And I think, look, all this talk about the Lakers and the Clippers, the Denver Nuggets are going to give the Lakers problems too. But the thing that concerns me about the Denver Nuggets is they fall down 3-1 in each of these series for a reason. And the reason why they allow that to happen a lot of times is because they don't play with the same intensity to start the series that they do when their backs are against the wall. Now, I don't think that works against the Lakers, because the Lakers are too focused. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are too they're too much in that regard, and the team is clicking. The Lakers are clicking, so it's not like you can run up on us like a Utah team that's kind of, they're kind of one-dimensional, and you go down 3-1 and them come back, and then a Clipper team that's in just disarray. I don't know what's going on, but something's going on with them, and you come back on them. I don't think the Lakers have any of the problems that those two other teams had, and I don't think Denver can afford to get off to a slow start in the series against the Lakers and expect to come back. That's not going to work. So I'm still confident the Lakers are going to knock Denver off probably in 5 games. Denver should be exhausted, especially after tonight. The game is going to be tomorrow? They're going to turn around and have them play again. So I think it's one of those situations where it's like we can catch either one of these teams. The Clippers are just not playing well, but I think if they beat Denver tonight, they're going to be wide awake for us, and they will play better against us than they get against Denver. But the Clippers have some fundamental issues that they're going to have to overcome if they want to beat a sound and cohesive Laker team that just doesn't seem to be having some of the focus issues that other squads seem to be having right now, or the Clippers rather seem to be having right now. So I'm very curious to see what ends up happening tonight. This is exciting. As a Laker fan, I'm just watching. I'm not getting my hopes up about anything. I think it's a win-win either way for Laker fans, because we really at this point look at the Clippers as our arch rivals. Not officially, but in terms of all of our vitriol and hatred is pointed at them. There's no team that the Laker fans dislike more right now than the Clippers. And, it's going to be fun if they do win tonight, but it'll also be fun watching them lose tonight. So it's a win-win for both of us, either way for Laker fans. And I think that is what we want ultimately. It's just to enjoy what happens next and then go into the series fully prepared for both teams. Coach said that he has, Coach Vogel rather said he has plans for both teams already. They feel like they're going to have it ready to go. Both plans, regardless of who wins, they feel they have schemes ready for those teams. So I have every reason to have confidence in the coaching staff at this point. They've pushed the right buttons and have got us out of some tough situations quickly with their adjustments, and that I expect to continue into the next series. What do I want to say? What else is going on with Lou Williams? Has to play better. I think if the Clippers are going to win tonight's game, they're going to need Lou Williams to snap out of what he's got going on. Paul George has played better in this series than he did in the first series, as I predicted, even though he, in my opinion, I think it was game 5, down the stretch, missed a couple shots, turned the ball over, pretty much was the reason why that situation fell apart down the stretch, in my opinion. Y'all know I'm pretty critical of Paul George, but I'm also very cognizant that he is a offensive juggernaut when he's right. And I wasn't surprised to see him bounce back and score 30-something in the last game. I will also not be surprised to see that he doesn't play well tonight. I just believe that he falls apart in certain situations, closeout situations, and he's going to have to prove otherwise. That's really what's going to have to happen. Kawhi Leonard's been good. He's been passing the ball better. I said at the beginning of the season they didn't have a passer. They never addressed that. He has come through and made sure that ball movement has been better than it was projected to be, in my opinion. Got to give him credit for that. And Landry Shamet, I've mentioned his name a couple times. He's going to have to shoot the ball the way he's been shooting it. He shot well in the middle of the series. He's going to have to shoot well in Game 7. And what else? Yeah, I'm looking for a high-scoring game today. I don't think defense is going to really tell the story. What both teams are going to have to do is try to outscore the other two. I know that sounds like duh, but I think it's going to be more about scoring than defense tonight. You got to understand that Jokic, Murray, and Porter are going to come out firing. They're going to come out firing. Kawhi Leonard, I would imagine, is going to come out firing. So, it's defense. I don't expect this to be a 90 to 92 score. I don't. This is going to be in the 110s, I think. We might even get an overtime game out of this one. I think the potential for this game to be very, very good is pretty high. But I've also seen both teams go down, blow leads. So what that tells me is it could be a blowout too. Either way. Because the reality is the Nuggets allowed these leads to take place. They weren't able to stop certain lineups that the Clippers put on the floor. I think Doc tends to go away from things that work just for the sake of keeping the minutes and the rotations consistent. I don't think Doc should do that. If you get to a point where you're up 18, you keep the team that put you up 18 in the game. Because that's what's going wrong with them. They end up blowing leads because they're putting different people on the floor. And those people are not, equipped to maintain whatever it is that they need to maintain to keep the lead. Some of that has to do with Denver and the different variety of lineups that Malone is putting on the floor. But I think if you're the Clippers, you just want to see them continue to go with things that work. Don't worry about rotations. Just make sure that you're going with what works. Because there are certain lineups, as I've said, that Denver just can't do anything with. And I remember that I mentioned in a video or two ago that there's a lineup that I think the Clippers have that are very difficult. It's Patrick Beverley, Kawhi Leonard, Montrezl Harrell, Marcus Morris, and Paul George. Replace Trez with Zubats. And they had that lineup on the floor, and Denver couldn't do a thing with him. If you play that lineup for 30 minutes tonight, I do not believe Denver wins the game. But Doc ain't going to do that. That's just not how he operates. So, we'll see. I'm happy either way, truly. And if you're a Denver fan, what you just want to see is the team play with house money. Come out loose. Come out loose and try not to turn the ball over. The Clippers are great at forcing turnovers. They've done a good job of doing so. Getting out in transition is a problem. Stretch the floor. Continue to do what's been working. And keep those long defenders. Keep the Millsaps, the Craigs, the Grants. Keep those guys in rotation. Monte Morris, all those defensive guys. Keep throwing different looks at Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. That's what I would say. Continue to do what works. And that's that, man. Enjoy Game 7. My name is BDF44. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.